So it is currently May 26th, 2025. Um, it is Monday, the Monday before we leave for our trip to California, which means it is T minus 1 week until I propose. So what I've got in this bag is not a ring. Instead, I've got 3 inches of 18 karat, 2 millimeter gold wire. That's gonna be your ring shank. I've got 3 inches of 18 karat, 1 millimeter gold wire. That is going to be your ring setting. I've got 18 karat gold solder. This will hold everything together, all the different bits of gold. And I've got a 3/4 carat oval diamond. So if I put all these things together with all the new tools that I've got that I've been practicing with, I should be able to get you a pretty nice handmade ring. So this is the process. This is what I'm doing. Hopefully it goes well. So that clip was filmed on Monday morning. I'm currently speaking to you from Friday morning. It has been an eventful week. I will say the ring turned out well, but it did not turn out the way I thought it would, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The point of these videos that I'm showing you now are to kind of take you through the process that I followed. So right now, this video is taken way in the beginning. This is back when I was practicing with aluminum. This was filmed long enough ago. I think it's around the time that I hit the deer with my truck. And fun fact about that, that night I was on my way from your grandparents picking up that walnut to your parents' house, and that was the night that I asked for their blessing to ask you to marry me. So, just kind of fun to know that all that happened on the same night. It was a very emotional night. But back to the ring, we're to the gold. I bought the wire instead of extruding it with aluminum like that previous clip showed. And what I'm doing here is I'm using a ring press just to kind of shape it into a circle. I use the mandrel to make sure it's the right size, and now I'm putting it into a ring clamp. And then here in a second, you're going to see me use a jeweler's saw to cut it, to cut off the excess. And this is sped up several times. It's still pretty tricky for me to figure out how to get the cut started, but once I do, I'm good. Moving on here, using a rotary tool basically to square up the ends. Solder is not meant to fill gaps. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that the two pieces that you're soldering together are basically kind of like gluing together. The solder heats up, melts, and fills any micro cavities. Um, Make sure there's no space in between because it's not meant to fill gaps like I'm saying. Use my pliers to get them uh, lined up just right. And from here, you get to see me get ready to solder. What that is that's a mixture of boric acid and alcohol. You put the ring in it, the alcohol evaporates and leaves a coating of boric acid on the ring that's meant to protect it from the flame and prevent what's called mill scale. Mill scale is not the end of the world. It's just meant to make polishing, or mill scale makes polishing harder. So what you saw me just put on there is a little teeny tiny chunk of solder. You don't need much. And I'm getting my flame ready to melt it. Now, some of the troubles I have with this process are using a flame that's too big. I don't have a jeweler's torch. What I was able to get a hold of, I got from Menards. So kind of making the best with what I got. What you're looking at now is me sizing up the ring. I accidentally made it about a size too small, so I got to basically beat the crap out of it until it's a size 5 1/4. So this does take a while. I get it close, and then later in the video, um, or later in the process, I will use a file and just file the inside of the ring to get it to size. What we're looking at now is a montage of not even a montage, just sped up like a billion times, the sanding process I go through. And this part's kind of fun because you get to see the ring go from super rough and rugged, and then it actually does take, this really smooth shape. And at this point, you could put polish on the ring and just use it as like a band. But right now, this technical term, this is just called a ring shank. And here, oh, you see me put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. This is just meant to get any bits of dust or particles off of it. And there it is. Okay. So that is just a ring. It is rounded. It is not polished. When you polish it, it gets a little shinier. And at this point in the video, I kind of wish I knew what I knew at the end of the video. You're going to see me go through a whole bunch of steps that wind up kind of not resulting in anything. Um, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm using my 1mm wire to begin making the setting. And this little bit of wire is getting curved into an oval that fits underneath the diamond oval. So same process. I've got to cut it, line it up, and then solder it. But the issue with this 1mm wire is that it soaks up so much heat. So you see me soldering there, and that goes pretty well. But you see later in this clip, I'm trying to solder the ring, which I've carved grooves into one of the prongs. Um, and you'll see the first kind of hurdle that I faced in this right here. And you see it just kind of like literally melt. The gold melts away. So that sucked. But this 1mm wire, there's so many issues holding the heat. I decided to change my strategy just a little bit, and you see me soldering on the prongs instead of the prongs onto the shank instead of onto the cradle. So here you see 4 prongs on the shank. Give it just a second, you'll see that there are in fact prongs there. And then the next step is to get the cradle on, which you can see I got my little alligator clip holding it on. But again, you see how hot that gold is getting. That piece is not supposed to get that hot, which at the end of the day causes a lot of issues. In this clip, you see there's only 3 prongs because one of them actually just fell off. This goes back to me not being able to control the heat as well as I need to with gold. And here you see 4 prongs, but one of them is about half as long as the others, which is also an issue. And here is kind of like my last straw with everything. That prong became so brittle through just all of the working that I had to do to get it to size. Um, Here you see me in desperation trying to solder on a thicker wire, but that doesn't wind up going anywhere. So I took everything off, repolished the ring, resanded and polished the ring. And that brings me to where I'm at now, which is hopefully a finished ring. I don't know, because at this point in me making the video, I do not have the actual ring, but hopefully the next clip I'll be able to explain to you what happens after this point.
Okay, so last part of this video coming from the parking lot of the jewelry store in Sioux City. You're actually in Target right now. You think I'm meeting one of my coworkers to pick up something that I left at the school. Basically, the last part of the ring with the gold was too finicky. I was not able to get it done with the tools that I had in the time that I needed. I was able to bring it to the store I bought my gold and diamonds from, and they were able to get it done. The process they go through is a little bit different. They buy their settings pre-made and then just solder the setting on, which is pretty cool. I think if I knew that was an option, I probably would have done that. But I do like knowing that they're the ones who set the stone. Makes me confident that the stone's not going to fall out later. So anyways, walk out of there fresh with this. It is Friday afternoon, so T-minus 2 days. Hope you like it.